work this business 8 hours a day, 6 days a week at least.
It's not uncommon during the middle of the week to with 35, 40 items.
Like you figure out what works.
Hey, welcome everybody to the flip side.
What's up?
Let's talk reselling. Hey, if you don't know us by now, go back to episode 1 and check us out, man. We're going to tell you all about ourselves and how we got into this crazy world of reselling. Welcome in. And if you have any questions in chat, this is a live session for that purpose. So if you want to ask your questions as we're going along, we appreciate that. A little bit orders of business we want to talk about. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. We got our first 100 plays and downloads on Spotify.
Oh,
so let's go FlipSide.
All right.
So that's awesome.
Yay.
So make sure you're liking there as well. We appreciate you guys so much for your listenership. So we're broadcasting on Apple, we're broadcasting on Amazon and Spotify. So you can choose your favorite. Take us along on the road while you're working, and also in your shops while you're working. So, and sourcing too. So some of those sourcing trips can be very, very long. Ruthanne knows a thing or two about long trips for sourcing. Hey, Ruthanne, how are you?
Yeah. Yep. I love those long road trips of sourcing.
Yeah. Sean, you just did a Route 40 or something?
Yeah, that's been end of May, early June, I think. So it's been a little while.
A little while. What about you, Gary and Amy? How's sourcing going?
Not too bad. We went to the city. Was it yesterday? I think we hit like 5 stores. That's pretty common for us to go down, and it's a couple hour drive, and then we hit 4 or 5 stores and then come back. And we do that twice a week, but we haven't really been out of state to do any sourcing since probably last year. But we took a few out of state sourcing trips last year, which was always fun.
I was going to say, didn't you say something about wanting to hit all like 50 states?
We did.
Or something?
Yeah, we've actually traveled to all 50 states. And so then we
nice.
kind of incorporated the last few states on our list into sourcing trips that we went on last year. So we ended up in North Dakota. That was our 50th. But we also went to Oregon and Idaho and Michigan and Minnesota, I think, as well. So
yeah,
Nice.
Minnesota's hot right now. So, Ellie, what about you? How's sourcing? What's going on?
Well, I'm not intentionally sourcing, but I went to the flea market today. I didn't find a ton, but one or two other things.
I love the Nashville flea market. If you've never been, I'd 10 out of 10 recommend it. It's up and coming still. It really struggled during COVID. They really took a hard hit during that time. But if you guys get a chance to check out the Nashville flea market and the Nashville bins, I mean, there's a lot going on.
One was open today, but I went to Lebanon. Flea market. So it's a smaller one. They got like live farm animals and stuff like that. And it's fun.
The price of steak, I might have to go get me a cow. I don't know.
We got goats and sheep and chickens and all that kind of stuff over there. So I don't know about cows.
Speaking of cows, Ruthanne, you said your brother is a farmer, isn't he?
2 of them. I have 2 brothers are farmers, one in Tennessee and one in Wisconsin.
I love that.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So
Get
we
your own
are
beef.
farmers at heart, and 2 of us get to be. So
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, Sean, let's talk about it. New podcast. You guys aren't following Shawn's Finds on YouTube, make sure you're checking out his new podcast, Shawn's Finds podcast. I think his next guest might be on the podcast tonight.
Hey.
I don't know if I'm pointing the right square for them. But it's for me.
I don't know either.
It's Hollywood Squares. How's it going, Sean? I saw Flip Fusion. He was awesome.
Yeah, it went pretty well, and it got viewed more than I was expecting it. So far, so good.
That's
just
fantastic.
trying to keep on going and going.
It's hard not to get obsessed with those analytics.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Story of my life. So
ChatGPT keeps telling me now, try not to get obsessed with the analytics. Oh yeah, that's easier said than done.
yeah, ChatGPT tells me a lot of things. I'm just like, no thanks. So I have a problem with my content creation. Maybe you guys can help me. I'm multifaceted is a good word in my content creation. I have a lot of things going on. So I do 2 podcasts. I'm also a reseller and have that content. And I also do a lot of other things inside my YouTube channel. And I think it's hurting me. What are your guys' thoughts on that? About niching down. I'd love to hear it because I'm struggling. I don't know what to do.
Crickets.
Crickets.
I guess
Everybody's like, it's a question mark, Bob.
I don't think any of us have it figured out.
Yeah.
no. And all the other YouTube videos that I've watched is, they talk about how you just can't figure it out. It's just one day you just throw up this video and you have no idea why it. Well, a good example is the one that went viral from the Launchpad. We still don't know why that went viral.
Yeah. For those that didn't catch that episode when Ruthanne was on the first time for Launchpad for season 1, we had a clip of her explaining climb the ladder on Whatnot, and basically what happened was it ended up, I want to say we ended up getting 50,000 views that first night.
Yeah.
It ended up going viral, and it's hard to say.
Honestly, there's nothing special about it, really.
I mean, it was a very well articulated like discussion about how it happens, why it happens, and like we were talking about Gummy Man and a few other people on Whatnot, and it just took off. And then it went global. That's how you can tell once you start seeing the numbers and you can start seeing other countries getting pushed to. That's a pretty good indication that things are going well. And shawnsfinds and Gary and Amy, that you guys probably already know. I'm sure you have clips that do the same thing, right?
Yeah, it does happen that way sometimes. You just never really know. And if there's people out there that are resellers and they want to get into social media and making content, there's a lot of parallels between building your, whether it's your eBay store or whatever your reselling area is. There's a lot of parallels with content creation and social media. And a lot of it's just showing up and making it and putting it out. And don't get too worried about all of the views or all the comments, but you just have to consistently put it out. And things will end up taking care of themselves, at some point if you're consistent about doing that. It's like the same thing with whether you're listing or you're shipping, you have to just continue to do it.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going through I was going through some of the stuff for work the other day. I was like, a lot of this that I do for software engineering and data science applies to reselling as well. Like we talk about completeness, consistency, uniqueness, all the things that make anything in regards to data qualified. And it kind of transcends over into reselling too, because you have to be unique, you have to be consistent. You have to give yourself completely to this thing in order for it to work well. I mean, you can do it not doing those things, but you're definitely going to struggle if not. So kind of interesting that there's parallels between that. So
you got to keep your priorities straight too. If you're a reseller first, then you got to work on that. And then the content comes afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not getting the reselling stuff done, then the content may suffer as well, because you don't have that content to back up what you're putting out there. So make sure you have your priorities straight. And if things start to slack on the reselling side, then you may have to give the social media side a break.
Yeah. And Ray from Triple Arc.
Listing pays better than content. So listing stuff on eBay pays better than content. So
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah. So
there we go.
Ray from Triple R Collections. He's going to be on the Launchpad actually, I think next Monday. So y'all come out and see Ray when he's on but he also knows that he does a lot of different podcasts and the time sink that takes away from your reselling. So yeah, I got to be very careful. It's a balancing act for sure.
Yeah.
I could see myself getting, because I try to do, I've been listing like crazy, believe it or not. So what I try to do is I put up like 25 listings, and then I've been relisting at least 50 cross listing at least 50 a day. Going back through old inventory and refreshing stuff and putting it back out with Nifty. And it's not necessarily helping sales right now, but I'm preparing for fourth quarter. So that way everything's nice and tight and ready to go. Because I think, if I recall correctly, beginning of August is when it starts to pop off for us.
Yeah.
So back to school
Man,
time.
that's like now.
Mhm.
I was gonna say, you brought up Nifty. I saw something new on Nifty, and
Mhm.
my mom said she saw it like a week before I did, but
Yeah.
they're giving pricing suggestions with like sales comps. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
They're not great. They're not.
I was gonna say.
I was seeing it on Hot Wheels, and Hot
Yeah.
Wheels are very specific. I have one Hot Wheel, and they're giving me sold comps for like all the other. So I still have to check it, but it's a start. I mean,
for me as a software engineer, it gives me hope that they're at least have it on their board, right?
mhm.
We call them sprints when we're developing. So they're already tracking that that's something that they're concerned with or they want to get. The problem is eBay doesn't give freely their historical data out to folks, so it's hard. I've been working on something behind the scenes where when you I do a lot of snipping and then I do a Google search right from the computer is how I a lot of times do it. And when I do that, I'm trying to work on a software program that'll actually do that for me. So anytime I snip it, it'll go out, grab the image in Google search and also find the average sold comp. So I've been working on that behind the scenes.
Like a screenshot?
Yeah, it works like a screenshot. Once you take a screenshot, it copies and it'll automatically ping Google, grab your sold comps and return you back a value.
I want that.
So we'll see.
Are you saying because you do it on your computer?
I know that a lot of you list from your phone, and that's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. I mean, especially when there's already sold comps, because Sean's mentioned this before. I think, Sean, you were saying that the pricing's already been done pretty much for you. You can get a pretty good idea from your phone what your kind of like middle ground is. You don't want to be the highest, but you don't want to be the lowest. Somewhere in between, I think is what you mentioned, right?
Yeah, and I get hit up probably once a week from somebody who's made some kind of AI lister using AI,
Yeah.
wanting me to make a video and checking out their thing. And I haven't found one that comps right. Like, I still haven't found one that I can't beat just using the eBay app and click sell similar because,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah, I can't find one that has comped right. And from what I've always been told is eBay doesn't allow third party people that use eBay to connect to their site on the back end that sold data. So until eBay gives that data up, nobody's ever going to have, a good AI lister. And I'm the biggest fanboy of Nifty there is, and they're not going to be able to make their AI lister comp correctly either. It's just going to probably get an average of stuff that's listed as what I'm guessing was what they're doing, and they're not really getting the sold data to get there.
Well, I see sold comps. Do you think using sold comps from like what they see on their own site maybe? Because whatever like we sell that comes through to them, right? As like data that they could store maybe.
Yeah, that's a good point because I would think we've been selling for about 4 years now. You could technically use your own historical data because there's times where I say, I picked this up before and I can't find it online, but I know I've sold it before. I'll go into my own inventory and see exactly what it sold for in the past. So you can technically use your own historical data. So that's actually not like do a crowd share. Like even though eBay wouldn't give it, but a lot of people are very particular about like what their back end for business and what their selling things are. I think there's a lot of pride wrapped around in that. To me, I mean, I'm an open book when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I think that's a lot of where that's coming from. Plus, eBay, historically, I think Worth Point is the only one that's even close.
Yeah.
So to having at least a historical record for comping.
Interesting.
But that comes behind the paywall. So
I don't think it's pride. I think they just know that data is worth millions and millions and millions of dollars, and they're just not going to give it away for free.
Right.
So I don't think it's pride. I just think they know the value of the data. And for each individual AI lister to have their own data saved from previous solds, there's so many of them, they all have just a little snippet of data compared to like the whole eBay picture. Like there's times I'll list a bumper for a 2024 F-150 and I may be the only one that's ever sold one that's been uploaded to Nifty because it's, even though it's the biggest cross-listing platform, it's still teeny tiny in comparison to what actually gets sold on eBay every single day. So
yeah, when I mentioned pride, I meant like from between, like if we were to crowdsource from reseller to resellers, like if we were to create our own environment, like as a community, I'm not sure people would freely give that information away because like you mentioned, data is a commodity, right? It's the one thing that we have to trade freely. Sometimes we agree to give it away without realizing what we're doing. And they go to data brokers, and next thing you know, you're on a list and you're getting phone calls.
Yikes, that's me. I don't always pay attention. Maybe more lately I have, but I'd be like, whatever. I just click the checkbox.
Yeah, I mean, when you're getting that Kroger card and you're getting the butter for $2.99, they're also scanning everything else that you're buying and sending it off to who knows who, so that they can sell you a bunch of other stuff that you're buying and tracking your trends. It's called market basket analysis. There was a correlation. Some data scientists made a correlation between diapers and beer. And so when diaper sales went up, also beer sales went up. Well, come to find out that the dads were going in there for diapers were also buying beer. So
makes sense. I mean,
so
that's funny.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of market basket analysis when I worked for Boeing many years ago. That's really funny. So what's selling out there, guys? Tell me, how's everybody's sales?
I think I had the biggest week I've ever had.
Wow.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
So
tell us all about it.
I'm pretty happy about that considering it's midsummer.
That's awesome.
Yesterday I sold 77 pieces of glass on Whatnot, and I'm finally starting to really get good prices from my, from that big pick that I picked 1,500 pieces of glass. I'm finally getting that really rolling so that I'm getting some good cross bidding on that. So
that's amazing.
So it catapulted me into the biggest week I've had in 2 years.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go.
Sweet. Pretty sweet.
I know you have a big goal for 2026. I think it's possible, Ruthanne. The way things are going for you.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping so. And of course, this week I jumped into content creation, so that's been an added chaos in my old brain. That's been a lot of added chaos this week. So
hey, you're killing it already. That's good. You're doing it.
Shoot. Like Gary said, just make sure you don't lose focus, That's the biggest thing. That's really sage advice.
Well, I've gotten very just in 7 days' time, I've realized by the numbers that are coming across that perfection is so unimportant. So because the 2 videos that I just put on because I thought they just seemed interesting, and I did nothing to them, and I threw them on, and they're doing better than the 2 that I really thought about, So you
just being genuine is probably the biggest key.
Yeah,
there it is right there.
Oh, there's something very genuine about about this chaos. It doesn't get much more genuine than this. So
tell us what you really think. I think people love to see that they're not alone, right? When I do my content and I show you the ugly part of like behind the scenes, what our inventory looks like I think people appreciate that more, in my opinion. I don't know. I know Sean, that's how I found Shawnsfinds, is when he did his shop review. I was like, look at this guy. I was like, this guy's
That's exactly why I picked him. That's exactly why I started watching him too, is because I thought, oh my gosh, this man understands my chaos.
Yeah.
So
Sean probably gets that a lot though, right?
I get called a hoarder a lot and stuff like that. And
I get a lot of funny looks from people that come into this shop. They just are like, whoa.
Yeah, my first glance into Ruthanne's, it was like a money mountain. It's not even a death pile. It's like a money mountain. It's awesome.
Well, I mean to tell you, this death pile, I dug into it this week, and wow, I just had a couple chaotic shows because I just thought, okay, well, you go through the piles and then you really have just made another pile. So it can't get better till that pile is at the post office. So I've done so well in pop-ups this week. It's crazy.
That's good. I still haven't jumped back into Whatnot because I'm not ready for that yet. But I've been listing a lot of stuff that I've been sitting on for years, some of these items. And I've been selling some. I've been able to make like anywhere between 200 to 500 extra a week. And
yeah, let's go.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's a lot when you add it up.
Yes.
When you add it up to the month.
Like $50 to $100 sales. So I'm like happy. I sold a set of Home on the Range PVC toys that I found at the bins. And it was in its box. So it's a Disney movie, right? It's in its box. This box is tore up. I almost took them out and sold them like that. But I disclosed and showed pictures of the box that's torn up and the window was broken and all of that. But it sold for $100. And
Yay!
Michaela almost got her hands on it a couple weeks ago.
She's like, thank you.
Yep, I'll take that. And I'll go ahead and list it. Yep.
That's awesome. I think that's a more rare item, right? Because I don't think they made a lot of toys and swag for that movie.
Home on the Range, Chicken Little, a couple of others that like just didn't really get a lot of attention, I guess. I sold a Chicken Little plush for I think almost $200, but that was probably like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah. Dang.
Yeah, that was like the beginning of my, hey, this is reselling.
Speaking of the sky falling, have you guys seen? I know I mentioned it in one, like I think either the first or second episode of this, that the UK watch group that's contesting the Depop merger. So I was reading up on it. They have until August 6th to prove that basically what they're saying is that eBay is going to be a monopoly for them, UK and Australia, because if Depop were to, get assumed or whatever. So I think the only argument that they would have against that is Vinted. But Vinted is not necessarily made for resellers. I don't know what you guys' thoughts are. I've heard mixed results about Vinted, whether or not you can just push 1,000 listens to it and not get bumped out. What do you guys think? Vinted?
I have 2 items listed on Vinted, so I don't know that I have a great opinion.
Yeah.
Gary's smiling.
I've been dabbling on it and have not got kicked off yet.
Okay.
So I fully expect to wake up, and most of my sales have gone to the UK.
Yeah.
Supposedly, word on the street is they're opening it up to Australia. I don't know how valid that is. So, I mean, I would say 90% of my sales are UK sales. So it's working good for me.
It really is geared towards like non-resellers, sell stuff out of your own closet. Yeah. And there's a lot of chatter online about people getting banned because it appears that, they're resellers. So far for us, I don't know, skirting outside the lines, but it's been working for us, and it's just the listing like the listing flow.
Super, super easy. I even mentioned it to my niece. She started selling her stuff online. Basically, you just pick for like shipping. You don't weigh anything. You just pick small, medium, large. Right now, shipping's free. On the flip side of that, also, I've started doing a lot of sourcing on there for items.
Oh, nice.
So we're very particular on what, like, the condition of our clothes and stuff like that. So I've got one that rolled in so far. It was perfect. So we're waiting on the other ones.
Like, it has an opportunity to, I think, really, compete. And I mean, and it's such a tiny platform so far. I mean, it's very small, obviously, compared to eBay. And I don't know what their goal is or what their mission will ultimately be if they want to try to compete with the Poshmarks and eBays. But, so far it's been a nice little outlet. We've had kind of a niche that we've posted some stuff on there and have found a little bit of luck with, some of the stuff we've sold on there. So, I mean, if you're, if you have some stuff that you want to try.
I'm very cautious not to list too many.
Yeah,
though, and so it's
probably,
like we definitely did not go on there and just dump 1,000 or 5,000.
Like here's 14 grand. Thanks.
Yeah.
Is that what you're up to, right? 14,000 items. Yeah. Can you imagine?
Crazy.
Yeah, that would be all that work, and then you just get you just get sat down real fast, and that'd be the end of it.
Yeah. Sean, have you tried Vinted?
I'm not interested until Nifty adds it.
Bam.
I can't keep up with the
There it
auto
is.
list and all that stuff. So
That's why I only have 2, Sean. 2 items.
yeah, if Nifty doesn't add to it, I don't list because I depend on that auto to list too much. I'm too busy to sit there and think, oh, do I have this on Vinted? If it sells on eBay or Poshmark or Depop, and then go into Vinted and delete it, or vice versa. I don't have time for that. So
when you get big, when you start to get bigger, in regards to your store, like how many items you have, that's definitely a thing. That's what makes I mean, we were on Vendu for years before Nifty, so yeah, that's another story for another podcast. But I can definitely see how that would be a problem for sure. So for clothing, for sourcing, I want to ask Gary and Amy, do you guys source on Whatnot at all?
We have in the past.
Yeah.
We probably haven't done that for about 6 months or so. It worked really well for a little while, and then it's really hard to tell quality sometimes on Whatnot.
Yep.
Because it's such a volume thing, and it's not the fault of the sellers on Whatnot, but for us, we really try to work hard to make sure that we don't put things up on eBay that has stains or holes or whatever. Like, we want it to be as perfect as possible, and that's really tough if you're selling on Whatnot and you're going through that volume. It's hard for someone to catch a small flaw. And then when we got it, we were starting to get into instances where there was a flaw that wasn't mentioned or it wasn't obvious. And like I said, it wasn't necessarily anybody's fault. It's just the speed that it has to go on Whatnot for it to work for those sellers. It just wasn't great for us. With that said, though, there's a lot of people who I think source for eBay from Whatnot and have good luck, and it works really well for them. I think we're just pretty picky when it comes to that stuff. And so, like, we'll go to the store and look at it on the rack and get, a firsthand, able to look at it, touch it, and really know. And we still miss stuff every once in a while. Like, we're not perfect in that regard.
He misses stuff. I don't.
Perfect.
That's true.
So where do you source most of your clothes? Where do you source?
Probably, I'd say 80%, maybe not, maybe 70% Goodwill and thrift stores. And then we do a lot of garage sales. Garage sales are tougher because we are moving faster. So it's hard to, hold a piece up and look it over while you're in the middle of a garage sale and, still be able to move through the sale. But like when at the thrift store, we have the time to, give it a once over and make sure that everything's good. And then other area, we'll do some clearance sales from like department stores or retail arbitrage. And then
estate sales
is another one. We have some, folks that we've made connections with over time that once in a while will call us if they've got stuff or found stuff, but all that makes up a smaller percentage than the thrift stores.
We have business cards that, like, a lot of times when we go to the post office, we get a lot of attention with the amount of volume because we stand in line and have them personally check it. And we have business cards there. So get some business cards, and it has, some of the items that we buy with our store on the front. So that when people say, why am I standing behind you waiting for you this long? Then you talk them up. And
that business card, like, on one side, it's got a QR code to our eBay store so they can check it out. And then on the other side, a lot of the different brands that we buy and that we resell. So, and that's turned into a few connections over time. Just, having that to hand to someone with our contact info has been nice because it's turned into some connections that, in fact, a couple of our best connections ever came from passing out a card that, I bought a bunch of stuff from a guy at a garage sale and we cleaned out his closet 2 or 3 times with great new tag clothes that, we'd have never found at the thrift store. So.
Ruthanne, are you handing out business cards, or how's that go for you?
I do sometimes.
You do?
Sometimes. And one time not too long, it was last summer that I happened on a garage sale and they were actually closing their garage sale and packing it all up. And I just said, and it was a high-end area. So I just said to him, what are you doing with all your, because they were just like throwing it into boxes. You could tell they were not putting it away to keep for the next one, you know. And I ended up taking that entire garage sale for free, and a lot of it was clothes. And I don't sell clothes. I don't sell clothes, but what I did was I then turned around. I had a few whatnot shows with the clothes, made a little bit of money, but it's not my thing. So then I just lumped it all up, took a lot of pictures of the higher end, put it on Marketplace, and I sold the whole dang thing for like $400.
Nice.
And it was like out of here, gone, and it was to a clothing seller like you, and they were so happy. I mean, they probably got 500 pieces of clothes.
Yeah, that definitely makes it worth their time to get a large amount all in one spot.
She was so happy.
Money and get to
So
go.
and I was so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good deal when all sides leave happy.
Yes, that is. That is.
I love that.
So when you're at a garage sale, I mean, I've learned to be vocal at a garage sale, especially ones that are on the last day. And a lot of times I'll leave a business card and say, you know, if you really want to get rid of your vintage glass, you don't want to keep it, let me know at the end of your garage sale, and I would come in and do a bulk buy.
Yeah.
You know, for less than what you have it here. You know, and sometimes they call back, and so you got to be vocal about what you do when you're out there. Sometimes you get once in a while you get a negative reaction, but not very often.
Sean, are you buying from Facebook Marketplace?
Almost never. I don't like Facebook Marketplace people because I have such a.
Is this available?
They're a time waste, you know, and there's just so many bad actors compared to someone who actually comes through. So,
yeah,
I mainly buy in auctions, and then I have my name out there quite a bit. The other day, I got a phone call from a guy. I've noticed that, like in my town, all the rich people know each other, and all the meth heads know each other. So, like, I'm known in each circle. In the meth head circle, if one of them comes up needing cash, they see my truck out back at the shop, they can beat on the door, and if they got something cool, I always have money for them. And then a guy who I talked to in the past, who's one of the richer guys in town, he has an old, like, really high-end toy collection from, like, Japanese metal trucks and stuff. He has so many that he had a building built to display his trucks and stuff in.
Oh,
so,
man.
I've been trying, like, he knows he's getting old and his kids don't want him, and he's came and talked to me about him several times. We've just never been able to work something out. But he gave my business card to another guy in town who owns a storage facility. And he called me the other day and had a big old pile of vintage Jaguar parts. Someone didn't pay their storage bill, and he usually just pitches the stuff, but he'll make a small pile somewhere if he thinks it may be worth going through. And he had a big old pile of Jaguar parts, and I bought them all for like $300. And I think I listed them all, and I think I got a little over $1,800 in listings out of them. So
I was gonna say that stuff's not cheap.
Right.
So I network pretty heavily and get deals like that frequently.
That's awesome.
It's easy to network when you live. I mean, I live in a really small town, so it's getting very out there what I do. And, you know, you can't hide when you go to the post office with 50 packages. You know, you can't really pretend you don't do what you do. So it kind of gets around, and it's very helpful because you get these little snippets about so-and-so's got this, and, you know, so got to be vocal.
I feel like,
good, Ellie.
I feel like we would catch hate, Bob, if we tried that, because
I think
because it's for children, like people.
Yeah, so that's the thing when it comes to our particular niche. Yeah, it can be a little bit like that. I think it just depends. I know that when we first started this, we have our own private Facebook group for those that didn't know that. It's called the Resellers Refuge. If you're not a part of that, feel free to inquire and get on there. It's a non-judgmental zone where you can talk about reselling and feel safe in doing so. A lot of times those Facebook groups can be brutal. That's not what we do there. So, but we got a lot of interest when we were at the post office through that, and also made a few connections in that way. Also got a lot of people interested in Whatnot. Matter of fact, the young lady at the post office started Whatnot because of us. So, and had been having a lot of success there. So it's always interesting. But yeah, for plush and toys, I don't know what it is about the donation. I think resellers in general, we get a lot of hardship sometimes because the word donate, whenever you consider that, it's now charity. And we all know that Goodwill is not a charity, but a lot of people don't, I don't think. So there's a lot of stigma that comes with that. And maybe that's a little bit of what we're feeling, maybe so much so. And I think you're right, Ellie. Sometimes with toys, I think it's a little bit different than a t-shirt.
Well, I put up during Christmas time, I put up a ad on Whatnot Marketplace, and it was like a donation ask kind of, right? It was I'll come pick up your toy donations. It's before Christmas, I'll pick it up. And I also added on there that I could do like a letter to Santa if that was something that interested the people. And instead of getting people wanting to donate their stuff, I got people asking for donations, donated toys, and maybe like 5, and like 2 of them got back to me, and I actually made them like a bundle of toys because I was like, yeah, like I've been there. And they never came to pick up the stuff, but I don't know, like I wanted to try to catch the stuff before it hits the thrift store, and it just didn't work. I don't know how to.
Yeah, there's something to be said about sourcing during the holidays. So I know that a lot of times around, I want to say usually around October, November, there's a purge that happens, at least in our area, where people are starting to like downscale so that they can make room for what is coming in. So I think there's something to be said about sourcing during that time too. I know it's busy a lot of times for us in selling things. Well, but if you can get out there and source, sometimes you can find some really great deals.
Yeah, you can, but unfortunately, I guess what I have seen, I don't know if you guys knew, I started my YouTube channel dumpster diving and curbside picking, and I found so many toys headed to the trash around those times, and so that's kind of where this came in. Now Tennessee's a little bit different. It's really sad, like really great toys. Like I found LPS in the trash. I found Little People in the trash. Remember? Well, we rescued it before it got to the trash that time, but I'm like, how do I get to that person that's ready to throw out those toys before they get to the garbage, Why
would anybody throw out toys when there's a thrift store on every corner?
Listen, if you come into my children's room, I'll tell you why. My kids themselves have too many dang toys. And when you get fed up, I've been there. I've been on the other side. I've done it myself. I've thrown away toys myself. Okay. Before I used to resell, when I was fed up with all of the toys, we're scooping stuff and we're throwing it out. We're chucking it. And so I get it. But I guess my thought process was, how can I reach that person that is stressed about, like, they don't want to put it out to donation. They don't want to take it to Goodwill. They just want it out.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting that you're talking about this because, I had seen something the other day, and I think, Ruthanne, you've said, like, why wouldn't you just take it to Goodwill? Because that's such an easy thing to do is put it in the car and just take it over there. But the resistance even to something like that, for a lot of people, they have so much stuff going on that, like, the easiest thing for them to do is just put it in a trash bag, onto the curb, throw it away. So much so that, at least in our areas, I'm seeing advertisements for Goodwill that they will come pick up your donations now.
Our thrift store does that.
That's what I was trying to do with this ad.
They are eliminating that, even that low barrier of you taking it to them. They will now come just get it from you. And so, like, eliminating that resistance, as low as it may have been from the get-go, that's what Goodwill's trying to do. So I think you're onto something, Ellie, about trying to figure out how do you intercept those potential donations if that's something that you're wanting to do.
Yeah, so I've seen it done successfully in a couple neighborhoods where I was doing dumpster diving, and I think that, like, some company, and this this has to be some kind of a reselling company. It wasn't Goodwill or anything, but it has to be somebody that was reselling or doing something with this clothes. They would offer a bag. This bag was like an orange garbage bag. And I think you could get it in the mail and fill it up, and you just set it outside on a certain day, and that company would come through and pick up all the orange bags. Bags are orange, can't get confused with anything else. It was their own branded bags. And I was seeing that, and I was like, how do I do that? So I tried it with the ad. It didn't really work because, I didn't mind that people were asking me for donations because I have freaking a million toys. If I can get something together for you and you need it, please come. They didn't even come.
I got it. I figured it out, Ellie. You ready?
Okay.
Here it is. Here it is. Okay, my brain's working now. Logical. I'm in logical mode.
Uh-oh.
Now, hear me out. It's really not that mind blowing. So sorry to disappoint in advance. So you take a red bag. You staple your card to it with a little explanation, right? And just leave it on their door.
Just copy that.
Just see if it happens, right? And then say on Thursday in this date, we're going to do a collection. Don't even advertise it. Don't do anything. Just leave the bag with the note and then see if the neighborhood shows up for you. And do it in small populations.
How do we get stuff into people's mail? Is that expensive?
Well, don't put it in their mailbox because I think that's a federal crime.
Lawfully. How do we do that lawfully? How do I get stuff?
Put it on their front door like a door knocker.
You buy a stamp.
Oh.
Buy a stamp. There you go.
I'm talking like advertisements and stuff. It gets in everybody's mailbox, right? So if I want to do that for a certain neighborhood,
they pay in bulk to the post office and then they deliver it.
I just figured, what if even in my small apartment complex, because I live in apartments, I could put up something near our mailboxes where everybody goes. I don't know. I'm going to keep brainstorming, but I think it's...
Well, you have an entire crew in your neighborhood. Your kids have friends. And there's 30 of these kids.
I probably know half the dang neighborhood here.
When I was at Ellie's visiting and we were helping her out with her storage area, and there was at least 30 children, at least. And we were giving stuff away to these kids because there's so much to go through. And let me just tell you, man, these kids showed up in force. Now, you got to figure out how to leverage these guys, right?
Yeah.
Right. Hear me out.
Yeah. You mean bribe? You mean bribe?
Well, try to be nice.
I'm naturally a child magnet, and I love children. I have 4 kids, right? That's not enough. All of the neighborhood's kids come here because
you're the cool
mom, right? I'm the cool.
You got all the toys, of course.
I try to be cool with the teenagers too. It doesn't work, so.
Yeah, there's no being cool with a teenager.
Yeah, nobody can accomplish that.
Yeah, once you reach a certain plateau in age, it's just no, thank you.
It's like that when you're a grandparent too. I mean, you think you're going to be the coolest person for the whole 18 years, but boy, even as a grandma, you become very uncool at about 13.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, I guess I'll just shake it off.
It's just how it is.
Pivot. Speaking of pivoting, so let's get back to sales for a second. I want to talk to Shawn. Shawn, you're chasing your goal. How's things going? I haven't checked in a while.
Right now, I'm probably behind pace, but it's
low.
How quarter four can be. Last year, this time, my 90-day total was probably $65,000 in the middle of the summer, and right now it's just a little over 80. And last year, I think I hit up to 111 or 112 from between this time last year into quarter four. So I would kind of like to see my 90-day total hit the 125, 130 from where it is now, and my store's bigger and have higher dollar inventories. So
yeah.
Can you remind those listening that haven't heard your goal yet what your end of year goal is this year?
$500,000.
$500,000.
Yep. Between all the platforms, not just
all
eBay,
by himself. Let me just say that out loud because I have tremendous respect for that. Since I run my business completely by myself, I can't even fathom that kind of goal. So this is how I feel. Every time I see one of his goal posts, I'm like this because I just can't even fathom when this man sleeps.
I know if anybody can do it, you can do it. Well, you know what it is he baked it in early, right? From what I can tell from Sean's story, and we talked about it a few times, he was working 12-hour shifts in a factory and doing this as well. So early on, he baked that work ethic in.
Yeah.
And by doing so, he continued to leverage that going forward. So all those hours spent working, building someone else's dream, now he's doing it for himself. And he doesn't know anything else but to do that, I think.
Still, though, you have to have a heck of a support system.
Discipline.
You have to have a terrific support system because
his wife, it must be an angel.
There's got to be
my wife's great.
There's got to be people in Sean's life picking up slack at every corner, because I just can't even. I mean, I would love to work 12 hours a day. I would work more than that probably, but I just can't because there's just so many needy pockets in my life that I just couldn't possibly do it.
I have a wife that I can text and say it's usually I try to leave the shop around 4:30 every day and come home. But I have a wife I can text and be like, hey, I need to work an extra hour because I haven't hit my listing goal for the day yet because I got caught up doing this. And she'll be like, okay, I'll start dinner later and I'll see you here in an hour, and she's really understanding about that kind of stuff. So
it's good. That doesn't always happen. They say the biggest choice you'll ever make is your spouse. So that's that one slaps. I've been married 3 times. Don't judge. All right. Lucky at life, but not at love, right?
Well,
I think I figured it out this time, though.
Yeah, third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm, exactly.
You found a wife who's a listing machine now.
Yeah, man. She.
Yeah.
Honestly,
no kidding.
She's the backbone.
Live, Gilbert. We're live.
Yeah.
Welcome in. Thanks for showing up.
What's up, Gilbert? Yeah, this is live, buddy. Welcome in.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, speaking of spouses, how's the duo doing? I saw your June numbers, man. Oof, Lord, about blew the rest of my hair off.
Looking pretty shiny, Bob.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys watch the Toy Story movie? No. The joke in the Toy Story movie was Woody's bald spot.
He was fading out on his head or something.
That's
right?
terrible. Like anytime he would, like, you would see the back of his head, the other people would be like, so shiny. I think that happened 2 or 3 times. It was great.
That's awesome. But yeah, your guys' numbers are crazy. Like,
June was actually a little down than what May was. Yeah, just a little bit. So
wow.
We probably had a drop off, probably because we have a little bit of a summer slowdown usually somewhere in the June, July area. And then we sourced some really good garage sales back in like April and May that helped out some of our numbers. We had a few hard goods that did really well back in May. So we hit some higher end. We had a couple pretty good hauls in May that bumped those numbers up probably a little artificially. So even with a lot of sales and a big store size, we can see little spikes or dips here and there because of what's coming through our store at any given moment. So I'd say June was probably more average than what May was. So it was a drop off, but only because May was quite a bit higher.
I know that I saw a video of you guys. I think it was Johnny Was. Is that what it's called?
Yeah. That's part of the reason that May was so good.
That was incredible. Like I think you had to call Amy up and like, bring me more money, lady.
I was in the town next to us. Like I wasn't even in this town. Oh, so
there's one big key if you go garage sailing is to make sure you have enough cash. And
you just never know.
Most of the time we've had plenty of cash because we prepare for that before. And, we have Venmo and all the electronics, but that doesn't always mean that the person running the sale accepts Venmo. Right. And in that situation, that garage sale, I walked into it and I saw the clothing rack in the back of the garage. And the first couple pieces I looked at was Johnny Was, which is a great women's brand. If you're not familiar with it, it's very intricately made, a lot of embroidery, silk type stuff, blouses and button ups and, just stuff like that. And a lot of the times brand new, that stuff retails in the $200 to $500 range, just depending on what it is. But she had probably 30 to 40 pieces of this. And when we settled on a price, you know, I just didn't have the cash, and she didn't take Venmo or Cash App or anything. So I had to, luckily Amy was only about 20 minutes away, but she was in another town doing garage sales. And so she had enough cash that we were able to make that happen. But those pieces that we bought from her, you know, have pretty much all sold in May, and that spiked our numbers for the month. But the, you know, going back to talking about, you know, giving people a card or telling them what you do, we gave her a business card and said, you know, because she had mentioned while we were doing this deal that she had a ton more of the same brand and a lot of other brands that we buy. And so about a week later, we went back over to her house and bought 40 more pieces of the exact same brand.
Wow.
Right before that, she had just done a huge drop off at one of the thrift stores of her husband's stuff, which was Tommy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Polo Ralph Lauren,
really
Tommy
bad.
Bahama, all the great brands that we buy. So we're like, okay, next time, just give us a call. But that worked out. So we were able to get, you know, another 40 pieces. I think we'd probably sold maybe 3 Johnny Was pieces in 3 years that we had ever found. And then all of a sudden we had 70 pieces all at once.
It's just pieces you don't come across at the thrift store.
And they've sold on average anywhere between $70 and $100. And we bought them for around 20 to 25, I think, on average. So good, you know, good margins, you know, good sell-through rate, you know, all that just worked out. And that was kind of a once in a blue moon type garage sale that you walk into. But, you know, if you do garage selling, there's a few things that you should prepare for, and having enough cash so that you could do a deal like that. You know, if you got to drop $500 or even more, have that ability, because not everybody takes, you know, a Venmo or a Cash App or something.
Yeah. It is nice though when you walk into a garage sale and they got a big Venmo and you're just like, yes.
Yeah. We've been doing that more and more to save our cash, and I've noticed the percentage of people using Venmo has increased quite a bit recently over the last year or so.
Yeah,
we're going to a cashless society soon, I'm sure.
That's
but
scary.
Always garage sales, cash is king.
Cash is king, yeah.
Cash is king. I know that when we went to St. Louis recently, I know you guys probably saw the video that we put out. We had a difficulty there. We stopped at a gas station and we almost got robbed. And matter of fact, that same trip, they were pulling a body out from underneath the bridge over there. So the Market Street location. So I would just say that when we say bring cash, I mean, be careful where you are as well. So I know that there's friends of mine, I won't name them out by names, but they did mention after the fact that they said they carry when they go to that particular Goodwill outlet bins. So, you know, say what you want about that, whatever, but just be careful out there when you're out and about and you're thrifting. Just have your head on a swivel. So, but you got to be really careful. So
aware of your surroundings.
My wife had a different growing up than I did. I'm always very careful because I grew up real poor and not in the best areas and neighborhoods. And she grew up in a neighborhood with trees and birds tweeting.
With trees.
Puppies and rainbows. Puppies and rainbows, like
poor neighborhood too, like you know, ghetto, ghetto, but I'm oblivious. I do not pay attention as much as I should.
It's like the Elvis song, "In a pool crowds in the ghetto."
Yep.
But anyways, so just be careful when you're out and about. Is I guess the message there. So I don't know. Well, we've talked a lot about what is selling, what the numbers are. I did do a little bit of predictive analysis for the first week of July because I was curious about that. And I think I mentioned it. I don't know if I mentioned it last time or not, but I was going to do a sealed envelope and then pull it out for this episode to see if we can compare. I didn't do that, but I will say that I did project exactly how much we would make in the first week of July using the data science, the stuff that I use at work. So
wow,
proof's in the pudding.
Good job.
You were talking about data and summer slowdown. A week or two ago, I made a post of my 2025, January, February, March, April, just my sales per month. And then I did it for 2026. And even though all my 2026 numbers are higher than my 25, from May to June, both years, I had an $8,000 drop off from May to
Oh,
June.
really?
Both years. So
Interesting.
Numbers.
I was $8,000 lower in June than I was in May this year and last year. So
it's important to know your numbers because you could plan for that, right? So if you're going to take this thing full time, and I think Gary mentioned this in his video where he did 12 things you want to really consider before you go full time. If you didn't see that video, make sure you're following Cougars Corner and check that video out if you're deciding to do that and go full time. That's an excellent video to go back and watch. But I think that's something you talked about, right, Gary?
Yeah. I think one really important piece, and I feel like there's probably a lot of resellers that maybe overlook this, is watching and tracking their numbers on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
And keeping that historical record, because eBay is only good enough to go back so far. And then if you're selling on more than eBay, then eBay is not going to include your Poshmark numbers or your Depop numbers. So you need to have that comprehensive look at everything that you're doing when it comes to your reselling, so that not just your gross sales, but all of your expenses, all your cost of goods, how that changes over time, and then what your net profits are. If you can track that on a monthly basis, once you get a year or even 2 years worth of data, you'll start to see the patterns of when your busiest times of year are, when your slowest times of year are, and you can make some decisions and base certain decisions on when your slowest time of the year is, so that you can look at that overall. I think for us, when we decided that I would go full time, we had 2+ years worth of data, and we knew exactly when, we talked about before, like January, February is our slowest months of the year. And that has proven true, 3 or 4 straight years in a row, just because we track that data. And if, even though our store's been in a grow mode for that same amount of time, over the last 3 or 4 years, the shape of the graph is the same. If you lay them right over the top of each other, it's just more each year, but it's the same shape. Like, it's the same months that drop off. It's the same months that increase. And so it's very predictable if you're just consistently listing. But if you don't track the data, then you'll never know for sure what it is that you have. And so even if you have to, I would just suggest tracking your gross sales, your cost of goods, and all of your expenses, so that you can get your net profits. And if you can just track those numbers just at a very basic level, you'll have a really good understanding of what your reselling business is doing.
Yes. And that will keep the IRS away.
Yeah.
I have to admit that is not my strong suit. The thing I'm best at is selling.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, I mean, all those numbers, I could really use a numbers person right next to me, because I don't even like that part. I mean,
Ruthanne, if you want, you can use My Reseller Genie.
My Reseller Genie is great.
Yeah, they're actually a sponsor of all of our podcasts, and I believe there's a code that you can use for that, Tennessee Treasures. Why don't you tell them about it?
Code Rocket City. Hey, My Reseller Genie. It's really great. It does all of that number stuff that we don't like. When I grow up, I want to be like y'all and actually like the numbers. I actually love math, but reselling numbers are different. They're a headache. My Reseller Genie keeps track of sales, and you can integrate banks if you have a separate bank account for your business.
Yeah. Credit card integration. I think they just integrated with Etsy, which is a huge thing.
There was one, yes.
Yeah, they just did this, and then they have Whatnot as well. They're just integrated with. So it's easy to be able to kind of transpose your numbers from the actual platforms into a software and be able to track them in real time and give you those profit loss statements that are going to be important when it comes to tax time. They also have, I think it's the tax form that you have to submit.
Yeah, the Schedule C.
Schedule C. Yeah, they have a Schedule C output thing. You could just print your Schedule C and you're off and running.
Yep.
So My Reseller Genie, Code Rocket City. I think it's 25%, right? I want to say. I'm pretty sure. So just check that out. Make sure you guys are
so it's 50. I think it's 15%.
Is it 15? Okay.
But that means if you have a yearly plan, you get 3.5 months free. It's really good.
I mean, if you don't like it, why not, right? Ruthanne's a powerhouse reseller. She doesn't like numbers. Maybe My Reseller Genie is the way. Maybe not. We'll see.
I love the numbers. I look at today's numbers, and they're exciting. And then tomorrow, I don't even think about today's numbers. Because Because it's over. I'm in a new day now. Let's just look at today's numbers.
So 52 weeks later, when tax time comes, that's like, oh.
Yeah, I usually disappear for like 2 weeks there in like March. They're like, "Where's Bob?"
Yeah.
And here I am with a picture of me with all these like receipts like this tall.
I always say I'm going to be better.
Yeah.
Year after year.
I'm never better. But
famous last words. I'm going to do better next year.
Yeah. Even if you don't want to use my reseller genie, Nifty has built-in tools that can do it as well. Just so you know, if you're already on Nifty, and you want to go ahead and use that, you can track your stuff through Nifty as well. So just know that there are options. Get a spreadsheet if you have to. Just do something. Just don't let it to be. You want to make sure that you know exactly what you're doing, especially if you're not doing this alone and you have a family that's relying on you. Be like Gary. Watch that video. Go check out Cougars Corner. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. It's been an awesome podcast. I appreciate you all for attending. Make sure you check out shawnsfinds' new podcast. Make sure you're following everybody here. Let's just remind people. Yeah, let's remind people where we can find each other. We'll go ahead and start with Ellie.
You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, and on YouTube. I think I got them all. Is that all of them? Tennessee Treasures.
Ruthanne?
Yeah. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and now YouTube.
Yeah, let's go, Ruthanne.
Let's go.
Y'all make sure you go out and show some love to Ruthanne and give her a sub on YouTube and watch some of her videos. She's awesome. And she also is like full-time, giving it hard on there for, I appreciate that hustle. Cougars Corner, where can they find you?
We are on Facebook and YouTube, Cougars Corner on both of those. And we also are on Instagram and TikTok, Cougars Corner.
Awesome. Sean?
Shawn's Finds on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And the Shawn's Finds show is on YouTube and Spotify.
Yeah, go watch that.
Make sure you sub and watch. He had Flip Fusion on his show, and a little birdie told me that there's another guest coming. Sean, you want a spoiler alert, or you want to?
Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., Gary and Amy are episode number 2. So,
oh snap!
I feel like
6 a.m. though.
I feel like I wish I wasn't having to go to work tomorrow.
6 a.m. 6 a.m. Central?
Not all of us wake up that early. Shoot.
Well, it's there for whoever wants to get up early and do their Monday morning shipping from the weekend. They can pop it on and listen to it while they ship on Monday. So,
absolutely. When you're done listening to this one in replay, make sure you head over there and listen to Shawn's Finds. We appreciate you guys. I want to remind you, if you can't be good at it. And we'll catch you on the next one on the flip side.
Night, guys.
See ya.
Night.